Hello everyone, welcome to CLJ Judgment Series. In today's session, we'll be discussing the case of Internet and Mobile Association of India versus Reserve Bank of India. In this case, RBI prohibited its regulated entities, that is, financial institutions like banks, from dealing in or facilitating banking transactions related to virtual currencies. The facts of the case are RBI had issued a circular that prohibited banks and other entities regulated by it from both dealing in virtual currencies. The effect of the prohibition was that exchanges through virtual currencies were traded could no longer maintain and operate a bank account, thereby putting an end on the business of virtual currencies trading that required conversion from flat currencies using formal banking channels. The circular was based on the RBI's concerns that virtual currencies were prone to hacking, that there could be speculation on account of there being no underlying asset, and the resultant volatility could lead to significant losses, and the VCs could potentially lead to money laundering and terrorist financing. Interestingly, prior to issuing the circular, the RBI had since 2013 only issued cautionary press notes setting out of the same concerns. At the time circular was issued, the RBI did not highlight any new risk. Reserve Bank of India then issued its ban on banks dealing with crypto business back in April 2018, which took effect in July of that year. The RBI notification was then challenged before the Supreme Court of India by the Internet and Mobile Association of India. Pertinently, at the time the circular was issued, there was no legislative ban on the use and trading of virtual currencies in India, and the RBI's prescription VCs were ring fenced from the formal economy. The issues to this case are: first, does RBI have the power to prohibit the trading of virtual currencies? Second, is it necessary to issue directions based on the expression public interest? Appearing in a particular provision in a statute should take its color from the context of the statute. Third, can a decision to prohibit an article under res extra commercium is a matter to be decided by legislation and not to be by an executive authority. Now let's proceed towards the contentions by petitioner. First, the main motive behind trading of virtual currencies are to improve the bonding between the virtual currency market and the formal economy. Immediate effect of the impunged circular is to completely sever the ties between the virtual currency market and the formal Indian economy, without imposing a ban on the trading of VCs and ultimately promoting cash and black market transactions. Second, VCs don't satisfy the criteria to qualify for money. There are four criteria which is required to be fulfilled to be recognized as money, and the RBI is responsible for the regulation. They have no power to regulate it. Third, considering the fact that historically money as understood in the social sense and money as understood in the legal sense are different. The courts in different jurisdictions, such as USA and Singapore, have understood virtual currencies to be akin to money or funds at times or as commodities, intangible properties at other times. Fourth, a decision to prohibit an article as res extra commercium is a matter of legislative policy and must arise out of an act of legislature and not by a notification issued by an executive authority. Now, moving towards the contentions by respondent. First, virtual currency don't fall under the criteria such as store of value, medium of payment, and unit of account for being recognized as currency. Second, virtual currencies can be involved or used in illegal activities. Third, currency may prevail the value of Indian currency and the credit system. Fourth, the impunged decision by RBI is under the scope of RBI and shouldn't be considered as ultra virus. It is taken under the power of the RBI under the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934 and the Payments and Settlement Systems Act 2007. Fifth, nobody has fundamental rights to do business on the network of the entities regulated by RBI. Proceeding towards the judgment of the case, SC held that the RBI has the requisite power to regulate or prohibit any activity of this nature. The RBI circular is primarily addressed to banks who are system participants regulated by the RBI under the Payment and Settlement System Act. The SC accepted the contentions of the RBI with regard to the application of mind, as the RBI had taken a series of steps over a tenure of 5 years. In relation to the alleged violations of fundamental rights, the SC held that any restrictions to the freedom guaranteed in the Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause G of the Constitution of India should pass the test of reasonableness. Accordingly, SC held that RBI circular is not reasonable or proportionate, as in the past 5 years or more, RBI has not found any adverse impact of the activities of virtual currency exchange on the way the regulated entities function. RBI has taken the stand that it has not banned virtual currencies in the country. Therefore, the RBI circular is liable to be set aside on the grounds of proportionality. The analysis of this case is: first, the judgment of the Supreme Court is a respite for the virtual currencies cryptocurrency industry, which was indirectly impacted by the prohibition imposed by the RBI on its regulated entities. Second, the SC has not adjudicated on the legality of virtual currencies cryptocurrency industry, which remain unregulated under Indian law. Third, the VC industry still faces hurdles, as government panel has recently submitted a draft bill banning of cryptocurrency and regulation of digital currency bill 2019. Fourth, this bill is currently under the consideration. If the said bill is passed, it is likely to reinforce the stance taken by the government regarding the legality of VCs cryptocurrencies in India.